Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. What Poland has just uncovered along its eastern frontier is being described by security officials as one of the most shocking discoveries in modern European border history. Hidden beneath forests, farmland, and surveillance zones near the Belarus border, Polish authorities have revealed what they claim is the largest and most sophisticated secret tunnel network ever found in the region. This was not a small smuggling passage or a crude underground route. This was a massive, reinforced tunnel system, engineered with precision, ventilation, power lines, drainage systems, and clear signs of long-term strategic intent. And according to analysts, this discovery may turn out to be one of Vladimir Putin's most dangerous miscalculations. The story begins quietly, not with explosions or gunfire, but with subtle anomalies. Polish border guards noticed irregular ground subsidence in restricted areas close to the Belarusian frontier. At first, these signs were dismissed as natural soil shifts or remnants of old infrastructure. But when thermal imaging drones detected unusual heat signatures underground, alarms were raised. What followed was a month-long covert investigation involving military engineers, intelligence services, and NATO-linked security units. When excavation teams finally broke through, they uncovered a tunnel of staggering scale, wide enough for multiple people to move side by side, tall enough to stand upright, and stretching several kilometers. This tunnel was not built overnight. Experts estimate it took years to construct. Using advanced machinery and significant funding, the tunnel's depth allowed it to evade standard seismic sensors, and its route cleverly avoided known surveillance zones. This was not the work of smugglers alone. This was a state-level operation. Polish officials were careful with their words, but the implication was clear. Belarus, under the tight grip of Alexander Lukashenko, could not have carried out such an operation without Russian support. And that is where Putin enters the picture. For years, Russia has used Belarus as a forward operating platform, a pressure point against NATO's eastern flank. From troop deployments to missile placements, Belarus has effectively become an extension of Russian military strategy. This tunnel, many believe, was meant to serve as a covert corridor for operations that could destabilize Poland, and by extension, NATO itself. The tunnel's design raises chilling questions. Inside, investigators found storage alcoves, communication cables, and signs of recent activity. There were markings consistent with military logistics, not civilian smuggling. Some sections appeared reinforced to withstand heavy loads, possibly vehicles or equipment carts. This suggests the tunnel was not just for moving people, but potentially weapons, supplies, or even sabotage teams deep into Polish territory. Why would Russia and Belarus take such a risk? To understand that, we need to look at the broader strategic context. Poland has become one of Ukraine's strongest supporters since the war began. It has served as a logistical lifeline, a training hub, and a diplomatic advocate. From Moscow's perspective, Poland is not just a neighbor. It is a critical obstacle. Undermining Poland's internal security would send shockwaves through NATO and test the alliance's resolve. Hybrid warfare has long been a cornerstone of Russian strategy. Instead of direct confrontation, Moscow prefers ambiguity. Cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, weaponized migration, and covert operations allow Russia to apply pressure while maintaining plausible deniability. A secret tunnel fits perfectly into this playbook. If discovered too late, it could enable surprise actions that destabilize border regions, create chaos, and force Poland into reactive measures. But this is where Putin's fatal mistake may lie. the discovery of the tunnel has not weakened Poland. It has galvanized it. Instead of sowing fear, it has strengthened Polish resolve and reinforced NATO unity. Polish leaders wasted no time in informing allies, and the response was swift. NATO officials praised Poland's vigilance and confirmed that additional resources would be allocated to border security and counter hybrid threats. The political impact has been immediate. In Warsaw, calls for increased defense spending and tougher border controls have intensified. Public opinion, already wary of Russia, has hardened further. The tunnel has become a symbol of Russian aggression, not clever strategy. It has validated years of warnings from Eastern European nations that Moscow cannot be trusted and must be confronted with strength and unity. From a military standpoint, the tunnel's exposure is a severe setback. Any covert route loses all value once discovered. Moreover, the intelligence gleaned from the tunnel's construction provides invaluable insights into Russian and Belarusian capabilities, methods, and priorities. Engineers are now studying the materials, techniques, and layout to better detect similar structures elsewhere. In other words, this one tunnel may lead to the discovery of many more. There is also the question of timing. The tunnel appears to have been operational or near operational at a moment when Russia is already stretched thin. The war in Ukraine has drained resources, manpower, and international credibility. Opening a new front of covert operations against NATO territory risks escalation that Russia may not be able to control. If the tunnel had been used for an incident resulting in casualties, the consequences could have been catastrophic. International law experts have weighed in, suggesting that such an operation, if proven to be state-sponsored, could be considered a violation of sovereignty and potentially an act of aggression. While tunnels themselves are not weapons, their purpose matters, and in this case, the purpose appears deeply hostile. This puts Russia and Belarus in an increasingly difficult diplomatic position, already isolated and sanctioned. Belarus's role is particularly significant. Lukashenko has long balanced between submission to Moscow and attempts to maintain some autonomy. By allowing or facilitating such a tunnel, he ties his fate even closer to Putin's. This reduces Belarus's room for maneuver and increases its exposure to international backlash. For the Belarusian people, already under heavy repression, this discovery underscores how their country is being used as a pawn in a larger geopolitical game. The psychological impact cannot be ignored. Borders are symbols of sovereignty and security. To learn that a hidden passage existed beneath one of Europe's most sensitive frontiers is deeply unsettling. But it also serves as a wake-up call. Modern warfare is not just about tanks and missiles. It is about unseen threats, long-term planning, and exploiting complacency. Poland's discovery proves that vigilance works. As investigations continue, more details are emerging. Reports suggest that the tunnel may connect to multiple entry and exit points, some of which are still being mapped. There are concerns that similar tunnels could exist along other parts of the border, not just in Poland, but potentially in Lithuania and Latvia as well. This has triggered a broader regional review of border security, with countries sharing intelligence and best practices. For Putin, this moment is deeply ironic. A project likely intended to weaken NATO has instead strengthened it. A covert operation meant to remain invisible has become headline news, exposing Russia's methods to the world. In trying to outmaneuver Poland, Moscow may have underestimated Polish capabilities and overestimated its own ability to operate undetected. This miscalculation fits a broader pattern seen throughout the Ukraine war. From underestimating Ukrainian resistance to misjudging Western unity, Putin's strategic errors have compounded over time. Each one has narrowed Russia's options and increased its isolation. The tunnel discovery is another chapter in this story, a reminder that secrecy does not guarantee success. Looking ahead, the implications are profound. Poland is likely to accelerate the deployment of advanced detection technologies, including ground-penetrating radar, AI-assisted monitoring, and expanded patrols. NATO will incorporate lessons from this incident into its collective defense planning, and Russia will find it harder than ever to operate in the shadows. The story of the tunnel is not just about concrete and steel underground. It is about trust, security, and the lengths to which states will go to gain an advantage. It is about how small discoveries can have massive geopolitical consequences. And it is about how, sometimes, the very tools designed to weaken an adversary end up exposing one's own vulnerabilities. In the end, Poland's discovery stands as a testament to preparedness and resilience. It shows that even the most carefully hidden threats can be uncovered with patience, intelligence, and cooperation. And it sends a clear message: Europe's eastern borders are not asleep, and any attempt to undermine them will be met not with fear, but with unity and strength. As more information comes to light, this story will continue to evolve. But one thing is already clear: the largest secret tunnel found on the Belarus border is not just an engineering marvel or a security scandal. It is a strategic turning point, and for Vladimir Putin, it may well be remembered as a fatal mistake that backfired in the most dramatic way possible. Stay with us for more in-depth analysis as this situation develops, because what lies beneath the surface often tells us more about the future than what we see above ground.